In the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, it's easy to forget the darkness that hides behind the spotlight. For some of the biggest stars in the world, fame didn't just bring fortune, it came with a price they weren't ready to pay. Addiction, pressure, and personal demons pushed many to the brink. Let's uncover the real stories of 10 celebrities whose lives were nearly lost to addiction, and the shocking truths most fans never knew. Robert Downey Jr. rose to fame as a gifted actor in the 1980s and 90s, but behind the scenes, his life was crumbling. Introduced to drugs by his own father at a young age, Downey developed a dangerous addiction to heroin and cocaine that led to numerous arrests and rehab stints. Hollywood turned its back on him, labeling him a liability. But through years of therapy, support, and determination, he made one of the most remarkable comebacks ever, becoming Iron Man and proving that rock bottom doesn't have to be the end. Whitney Houston, the voice of a generation, had the world at her feet. But her stunning success masked a personal battle that slowly consumed her. Rumors of drug use became undeniable truths as crack cocaine and prescription pills took their toll. Her turbulent marriage to Bobby Brown only fueled the chaos. Despite rehab attempts, Whitney's addiction overshadowed her talent, and in 2012, she was found lifeless in a hotel bathtub, a tragic end to one of music's brightest stars. Amy Winehouse was a rare kind of artist, raw, emotional, and unforgettable. Her voice blended jazz, soul, and pain in a way that mesmerized millions. But behind the iconic eyeliner and powerhouse vocals was a woman drowning in addiction, made worse by toxic relationships and relentless media attention. Her battles with alcohol, heroin, and crack cocaine played out on front pages around the world. Repeated stints in rehab couldn't save her from the spiral. In 2011, she was found dead at just 27 years old, a heartbreaking symbol of talent lost too soon. Sheen, once one of the highest-paid actors on television, turned into a cautionary tale right before the world's eyes. Known for hit roles in Platoon, Wall Street, and 2.5 Men, his real-life behavior soon overshadowed his acting career. Fueled by cocaine, alcohol, and bizarre outbursts, Sheen's public meltdowns, from Tiger Blood rants to getting fired from his own show, turned him into a media circus. While he's made attempts at recovery, his fall from grace remains one of the most dramatic in Hollywood history. Lindsay Lohan started as America's sweetheart, a child star with charm, talent, and a future full of promise. But fame came fast, and so did the pressures. As she transitioned into adulthood, her life unraveled in a whirlwind of DUI arrests, court appearances, and rehab stays. Her partying lifestyle, paired with personal instability, dragged her career into chaos. Despite moments of clarity and efforts to rebuild, Lindsay's journey is a stark reminder of how early fame, without proper support, can become a ticking time bomb. Heath Ledger, known for his intense dedication to his craft, left a lasting legacy with roles like Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. But behind his meteoric rise, he struggled with insomnia and anxiety, turning to prescription drugs to cope. His commitment to roles reportedly left him physically and emotionally drained. In 2008, he was found dead from an accidental overdose of painkillers and sleeping medications. He was just 28. Ledger's quiet battle with inner demons was as real as his on-screen brilliance. Mac Miller was more than a rapper. He was a voice for a generation grappling with anxiety, heartbreak, and self-doubt. His music was honest, often revealing his battles with depression and drug use. Fans connected with his openness, but few realized how deeply he was struggling. Despite rehab and attempts to stay clean, his addiction quietly tightened its grip. In 2018, at just 26 years old, Mac died from an accidental overdose of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol, a devastating loss that shook the music world. Prince, the legendary icon behind Purple Rain and When Doves Cry, redefined what it meant to be a performer. Behind his electrifying stage presence was a man silently suffering from chronic pain. Years of physical strain from performances led him to rely on prescription opioids. His addiction was well hidden, until it wasn't. In 2016, Prince was found dead at his Paisley Park estate from a fentanyl overdose. His death stunned the world and spotlighted the deadly risks of painkiller dependence, even for the most seemingly untouchable stars. Britney Spears was once the undisputed princess of pop, dominating the charts in the early 2000s. But while her music soared, her mental health and addiction struggles unraveled in public. From the infamous head-shaving incident to repeated rehab visits, Britney's breakdown became tabloid fuel. Her dependency on alcohol and prescription medication led to a controversial conservatorship, putting her father in control of her life for over a decade. Though she's since regained her freedom, Britney's story remains a painful example of how fame can both create and destroy. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, seemed untouchable. But even legends have breaking points. As his fame grew, so did his dependence on prescription drugs, painkillers, stimulants, and sedatives that kept him moving through a punishing schedule. By the end of his life, Elvis was isolated and physically wrecked. In 1977, he was found dead at Graceland from a heart attack, with drug abuse listed as a contributing factor. His death marked not just the end of an era, but a warning about what can happen when no one says stop. Fame may bring fortune and recognition, but for many of these stars, it also brought isolation, pressure, and unbearable pain. Behind their red carpet smiles and record-breaking careers were personal battles that few ever saw, until it was too late. From Robert Downey Jr.'s redemption to the tragic losses of Amy Winehouse, Mac Miller, and Prince, these stories reveal a sobering truth: addiction doesn't care about talent, money, or fame. It can touch anyone. And while some found a path to recovery, others left behind haunting legacies and unanswered questions. If there's one thing to take away, it's this: behind every spotlight is a shadow. And sometimes, the strongest thing a person can do is